Hey guys, welcome. We're at Heathrow Airport. We're heading up to Edinburgh for the Royal Mile Whiskies Whisky Fringe, and we're here at Duty Free. We thought we'd give you a little bit of a tour, see what's hot or not. We're a bit limited because we're obviously traveling within the UK, but hey, we'll show you what's here. So come in, let's see what we've got and see what's worth buying or not. The Suntory section is looking a little bit sad compared to how it does usually. Last time I was here, actually, there was a bunch of Yamazaki 18, although £850 a bottle. Let's just say I wasn't snapping them all up. So today we're kind of limited to the Cheetah and the Suntory World Whisky. So I think time to move on. Glenmorangie, Glenmorangie even, always have a bunch of travel retail stuff, but actually, what's catching my eye is Tom & Tal. I've got a bunch of new travel retail releases. I've not actually tried any of these yet. Obviously, 40% like a lot of their range is, but at a litre, for 40 to 45 pounds, you certainly get quite a lot of bang for your buck. Glen Scotia have also been putting out a couple of travel retail exclusives recently. £55 for a 10-year-old first fill bourbon barrel, 2,000 bottles, limited release at 55.3%. You could certainly do worse than that. And then they've got this new 22-year-old as well. Tawny port cask finish, 47%. £450 though for a 22-year-old. A lot of Loch Lomond's as well. And Talisker, a bit of a duty-free staple as well. Got the Surge, which I've tried. This might be available at the lounge as well if you're flying with British Airways. And the new Parley release as well. Actually, they've got that available to taste. Don't know whether we'll get the chance to have a cheeky half dram or so, but we'll see. Bowmore, it's been a bit of a staple for some time now, I think. You know, you've got the latest Aston Martin releases, number 6 with the 18-year-old, and I think number 5 with the 15-year-old. So obviously the same liquid in them, but a new box, a new bottle. Quite disappointing actually. There's a bunch of stuff here. It's all, I swear, I've been able to buy whilst just flying around the UK before. You know, the Ardbeg, the Corrie and the Oogie and the Smoke Trails, they've been around for a little while now, and I swear they're now only available when you go outside the UK. Lefroy, they seem to be having a bit of a kind of promo here at the minute. There's quite a lot of the PX cask and the 4 Oak flying around. What you do always have at Heathrow as well is the rare and vintage selection as well. So there's a 32-year-old Glen Scotia, £1,500. 40-year-old incredibly dark Benriach in a lovely looking oak box, £4,000. 50-year-old Fettercairn, a snip at 18,000. And the 54-year-old Highland Park, 39,000 of the King's pounds. Oof. 51-year-old Royal Salute as well. You can certainly stock up on the big hitters if you really want to. I really like the Highland Parks that you can get here. Actually, the 14-year-old doesn't seem to be available at the minute, apart from in the display case. But this 16-year-old I picked up last time I was in duty free when I was heading off to Turkey. Still haven't opened it yet though, so I can't tell you what it's like. Dalmore have also just released a bunch of new travel retail stuff as well. So you have the trio, the quartet, and the quintet, so called because they've been matured in 3, 4, and 5 different cask types. So 5 finishes on this one: Muscatel, Madeira, Sherry, Tawny Port, and Cabernet Sauvignon. That seems like a lot. Sorry, Richard Patterson, even at 44.5, which is a bit stronger than your average Dalmore, I'm not sure I'd be picking that one up. These Glenmorangies, the 12, the 14, and the 16 again, they all came out last year exclusive to travel retail. Not bad value, 55, 65, and 81 pounds for those, all litre bottles. I actually quite liked the charred oak, the 14-year-old of those three when I tasted them. And actually the Signet as well is, someone described this to me as the perfect gifting whiskey. And to be honest, I think they might just be right. I mean, beautiful kind of smoked bottle, lovely box, incredible presentation, hasn't even changed for years, but it still looks new and classic, you know, the classic logo on it as well, you know, but buffed out. There's a lot of whiskey there for £145. You know, if you are going on a trip to see someone, you can certainly do a lot worse. A few Macallans, there is a boutique upstairs as well, but again, got to be flying outside the UK to get your hands on it as well. Glenfiddich, they also relaunched their collection relatively recently. I'm going to say stay away from the VAT 1, and what you want to be heading for is either the 3 or the 4. The 3, I think, actually 70 quid, 15-year-old cask strength, probably one of the best value duty-free whiskies that you can get at the minute. And the 18-year-old, which is the VAT 4, tried this when I was in Gatwick last time. Prefer it actually to the normal 18-year-old, and again, it's stronger than what you'd get in the shop. So I think it's only a 40% whiskey for the standard Glenfiddich 18, 47.8 here. So a little bit more punch, but not a lot more cash. So again, those two are probably the ones to look out for. It wouldn't be duty free without Johnny Walker, I guess, either, would it? Anything from your blue labels, the black labels, and then some of the travel exclusives as well. The Island Green, different makeup to the standard green label, loses the age statement, but you change the distilleries. Can't remember which ones they are off the top of my head. And obviously for the rest of the range, you're kind of going up to litre bottles for about the same price as you'd be paying in the shops elsewhere. There's also the black label triple cask as well. I've taken that on holiday before. Again, I think it's a little bit of an upgrade over the standard. Can't get it anywhere else other than the airport. Chivas, of course, going to see them all around the airports. And then there's going to be a bunch of American whiskies as well. Jack Daniels, Wild Turkeys, Jim Beam's, Woodford Reserves, and again, quite a lot of cheaper blended whiskies as well. Actually, again, in the past, I have taken the Dwars 15, I believe. I took this to Costa Rica a couple of years ago. And again, if you're in a hot country, price to value on this one, I think, is pretty good for what you're getting. For £40 mark, you can certainly do worse. And then sometimes the Royal Salutes as well. Actually, again, duty free is a good place to pick them up at a better price than you would see elsewhere. So there's the Snow, not the Snow Polo, this is the new Jodhpur edition, and the 25-year-old as well. Again, very good gifting whiskies in a price range, you know, slightly higher than the Signet as well, but you know, nice age statement on a lot of what you're getting there. So, favourite picks of what's on offer in duty free, I think compared to perhaps some previous times I've been here, the selection's not quite as strong, but the Glenfiddich 15-year-old for about £60, that's one that I can recommend easily. The Highland Park, as I said, I think the 14 and the 16, they're pretty good ones to go for as well. The Mortlach 16, I don't think I even mentioned over there. Again, that's a pretty strong contender for the price bracket it's in at less than £100. And actually, don't discount some of the blended whiskey. Either the Dwars 15, that comes in at a low price. Some of the Johnny Walkers, that black label triple cask. And I think on top of that as well, some of the Taliskers as well, good place. The Surge and the Parley, again, the fact that you can get that cheaper than you can at normal retail elsewhere makes that a pretty good place, pretty good one to pick up. Again, if you've got various apps, there's one called Red by Dufree that works here at Heathrow. You can sometimes get as much as up to a further 10% off any of the prices that you've seen on the labels here. Depends on how much you've spent, but there will at least be some money off. Again, sometimes you buy a bit of perfume or something else, they'll be giving you a voucher to get some money off somewhere else as well. So hey, if you're here with a partner, a friend, and they're buying something else, just watch out for those vouchers too. There are definitely ways to still get whiskey at good prices here. Just be a little bit wary of some of those initial sticker prices. So yeah, in terms of, let's say, normal retail compared to duty free, is it duty free? Well, what's duty? It's certainly not VAT free or kind of a lot cheaper in the days, in the days gone by. But let's take the Talisker Parley, for example. That's here at £67. You can get, as I said, potentially up to another 10% off of that, taking it down to nearly 60. That's a £75 bottle in the shops. Obviously, it's exactly the same here. So that's a pretty good saving. There's other things, though, perhaps not quite so good. So Blue Label over there, yeah, I think you are getting 1 litre of it, but it's £240. You go on malts.com, that's I think £159, 160, maybe no more than £170 for a 70 cl of Blue Label. So you're paying more for more liquid, but unless you're desperate to have that 1 litre bottle format, it's not cheaper to buy it from this place. So, unless you are on the lookout for exclusives, there's only a very few things in here that you can actually get on the high street that are better value. And I think that's the change that's happened in duty free over the last 5 to 10 years. There's more and more exclusives and less stuff that you'd see on the high street. And so you can't really compare apples with apples. And I think that's really a deliberate move by the producers so that you are a little bit bamboozled or forced into maybe trying a new expression. Either way, they win because you're spending more money. There's quite a lot here that's still worth looking into and worth trying. So, and this isn't even the best duty-free selection, probably even in the UK, let alone globally. You go to Dubai, you go to some other places, there are huge whiskey selections. Even when I was in Dalmore in Turkey, there was some amazing, surprisingly amazing whiskey there that was exclusive to theoretically Istanbul Airport. So, hey, wherever you are in the world, it's definitely worth checking out.